Let's move on and see how to use the functions we've just defined. The first step is to connect to the remote device using SSH. So I'm gonna call the connect function. So client equals, the function returns a client object, connect. The first argument is the server's IP address, 10.1.1.10. The port, the default 22. Username U1. And password, Cisco. Then I'll create a shell object by calling the getShell function. This one. So shell equals getShell. And the function takes as argument the SSH client. It's called client, just client. You can call a variable any way you want. And at this point, I can simply start sending commands. So send command. The first argument is the shell variable into which the command will be sent, and the first command will be enable. The second command will be in fact the password, the enable password, Cisco. Then terminal length 0. And two show commands. For example, show version and show IP interface brief. I've sent 5 commands and now I want to print out the output. So output equals show of shell and print output. And I'm running the script. It's working. This is the output. The output of the first command, the show version command, and the output of the second command, which is show IP interface brief. Perfect. It's working as expected. I'm sure you realize it's much simpler to work this way using these functions. You don't have to focus on all details. Moreover, if someone that's not an effective Python programmer but a good network engineer wants to automate his daily tasks, he simply has to learn how to use the functions. It's not necessary for him to dive deep into all details like \n after each command, timeouts, decoding from bytes to string, and so on. One last remark. If you want to save the information about the device in a dictionary, you can do it. Maybe you want to keep these values connected and use them also in other parts of the script. So let's try something like this. Router 1 equals, and in fact, I'll copy and paste a line from another script from a previous one. I want to save some time. This line of code. And when calling the connect function, instead of giving these 4 arguments, I'll simply write ** router1. It's the same. I have already explained in another lecture how this works. Okay, there's one small change required. The name of the arguments in my case are server IP and server port, so I have to change the name of the dictionary's keys. So here we have server IP, server port, here it's user, and here PA/SSWD. This is how I called the arguments. They need to have the same names as the dictionary's keys. I'm running the script again. And it's working. It's sending the commands to the device.